All right, let's dive right in. We're tackling the wild, confusing, and let's be honest, sometimes terrifying world of cryptocurrency. The goal today? Simple. We're going to give you a solid framework so you can navigate this space like a pro investor, not just a gambler hoping to get lucky.
I mean, does this sound familiar? You see the headlines, you hear the stories about overnight millionaires, you look at the charts, and it feels like you've just walked into a chaotic digital casino. This quote just nails that feeling. And hey, if you've ever felt that way, you are definitely not alone. You know, this whole casino vibe is fueled by this really toxic mix of emotions. You've got FOMO, the fear of missing out, which tricks you into buying at the very top. And then you've got FUD, that's fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which causes you to panic and sell at the very bottom. It's a cycle that's almost designed to make you lose.
But here's the big question. What if there's a better way? What if success in crypto isn't about luck or some kind of perfect timing? What if it's all about a fundamental shift in how you think about it? This is exactly where we separate the gambling from true, smart investing. It really all boils down to a choice you have to make. You can follow one of two paths. You can be the gambler, getting tossed around by every market rumor, or you can be the investor, who moves with a clear, disciplined plan. Let's really break down what that looks like. And you can see the difference, plain as day, right here. The gambler is totally reactive. They're running on emotion, chasing hype, and what happens? They end up buying high and selling low. The investor, though, is the complete opposite. They're proactive. They're guided by discipline and real research. They have a vision for the long haul, and this is key. They actively manage their risk instead of just crossing their fingers. So, how do we actually build that investor mindset? Well, we're going to walk through a simple 4-part framework. First, we'll define your why. Then we'll learn to look past all the hype. After that, we'll build a real strategy. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to give you that investor's edge. Okay, pillar number 1. This is so important. Before you even think about buying a single thing, you have to ask yourself, why am I even doing this? And this isn't some deep philosophical question. It's the bedrock of your entire strategy. Your why is what's going to keep you steady when the markets go crazy. It's your anchor in the storm. Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. A gambler's goal is just a vague wish. I want to get rich. An investor, on the other hand, uses what's called the SMART framework. Their goal is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. See, one is a daydream, the other is a real, actionable plan that will guide every single decision you make from here on out. So, seriously, take a moment and think about this for yourself. What's your SMART goal? Is it a down payment on a house, retiring a few years early? Whatever it is, that goal becomes your anchor. It's that rational voice in your head that cuts right through all the noise of fear and greed and keeps you focused on what really matters. All right, on to pillar number 2. Once you know your why, you've got to understand the what. A real investor doesn't just throw money at a ticker symbol hoping it goes up. They invest in technology that solves actual real-world problems. And that means you have to look beyond the price chart and understand the blockchain itself. At its heart, blockchain offers 3 pretty revolutionary ideas. First, decentralization. That means no single company or government can just shut it down. Second, immutability. That means once a record is there, it's permanent. No one can secretly go back and change it. And third, transparency, which means anyone, anywhere, can verify the transactions for themselves. These aren't just buzzwords. These are powerful solutions to real problems we have with our current systems. And it's so critical to get this. Not all crypto is the same thing. You've got payment tokens like Bitcoin, designed to be like digital cash. You've got utility tokens like Ethereum, which act as the fuel for a network. Then there are governance tokens, which give you voting rights in a project, kind of like being a shareholder. And finally, you have stablecoins, which are pegged to a currency like the US dollar. As an investor, you have to know what tool you're using for what job. Okay, that brings us to our final and maybe most practical pillar, building your strategy. Because, look, all this knowledge is great, but it's pretty useless without a plan for how to use it. An investor without a strategy is just a very well-read gambler. So how do we put together a plan that can actually weather the storms?
Here's a super simple but really powerful model to think about. The bulk of your portfolio, your foundation, should be in the blue chips of crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then a smaller piece is for some high-growth altcoins that you've really done your homework on, and then a tiny slice, maybe 5 to 10%, that's for your high-risk, high-reward moonshots. This structure lets you aim for growth while protecting your core investment.
So, how do you actually follow this plan without letting your emotions get the best of you? The answer, the secret weapon, is dollar cost averaging, or DCA. It's simple. You invest a fixed amount of money on a regular schedule, say $100 every Friday, no matter what the price is. This takes the guesswork out of it. You automatically buy more when prices are low and less when they're high. This simple little trick turns market volatility, the gambler's worst enemy, into your biggest advantage.
So let's bring this all home. When you boil it all down, what's the real ultimate edge that an investor has over a gambler? It's the ability to take all that chaos, all that noise in the market, and turn it into a clear, disciplined, repeatable process.
And this three-pillar framework we just went through, that's your playbook. First, you define your purpose with those SMART goals. Second, you look past the hype and understand what you're actually investing in. And third, you build a real strategy using a structured portfolio and disciplined tools like DCA. These aren't secrets. They're just the fundamental building blocks of smart investing.
And that's really the bottom line here. In a market where almost everyone else is just reacting to fear and greed, having a calm, logical, and disciplined process isn't just a small advantage, it is everything. In the long run, discipline will beat luck every single time.
So I'll just leave you with this one last question to think about. After everything we've covered, it's time to make a choice. Are you going to keep buying lottery tickets and just hoping for the best? Or are you ready to start building a real, resilient portfolio for your future? The choice is all yours.